Leo, thanks for joining me. I just spilled some water on me. That's what these stains are. It's nothing more sinister. It's just water. Thank you for joining me. This is your astrology forecast for October 2015. I'm going to give you a rundown of what you'll be working with. And there are two things happening on the 30th of September which are really important that we need to take note of, really. The first is that Pluto starts to square the Sun. And that happens on the 30th, like I said, and it continues until the 12th of October. Now, the Sun is your ego, it's your identity on planet Earth, and Pluto is regeneration and rebirth. Now, Pluto's in your 5th house of romance and relationship, and what this really means is that there's new life in your relationship fun sector, okay? So you might meet someone new, or you might remember why you liked someone who's already in your life, but you don't need to work at it. You have more fun with other people, and you get in touch with your own sense of fun and childhood and silliness. The other thing is that Pluto starts to square Uranus, and that connection, that relationship lasts much longer. It lasts until the 13th of May 2016. And Uranus is in your sector of other people, and it's in Aries, and it's the desire to connect with other people. So Virgo, it looks like really this is a time of more people coming into your life. More people are going to know your name over this month, but specifically over the next 9 months even. There's going to be much more energy in your romantic life. That's really good news. So, and the reason I say that is because Uranus is energy. It's kind of like, it's like putting something in a socket. It gets supercharged. And Pluto is sitting there in your 5th house of romance and relationship, and it just supercharges our rebirth. It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and then you plug the phoenix into a socket and make it shine even brighter. It's strong. If that image works, okay. You've also got Jupiter, Mars, and your midheaven sitting in your natal sign of Virgo in your 1st house. Mars is the warrior, Jupiter is good luck and good fortune, and midheaven is work. And all of those are in your sign, so you're really going to be driven to apply yourself. You're going to have a strong work ethic. It's not so much about working, but it's about wanting to work. It's about, I've got something to offer, I can apply myself to get things done, I can achieve, and it's that strength of self-belief, and through that self-belief that you can really achieve great things. There's loads of Earth here at the beginning of the month, so you're going to really start this month with your element, with a lot of your planets in your natal sign, and it really will feel very aligned with what you're trying to achieve. Chiron starts to square the moon on the 3rd of October, and Chiron's in your 7th and the moon is in your 10th. So some sort of success that you have at work will restore your faith in people you work with and restore your faith in humanity. So it may be that you have some success because you have such a good work ethic that someone who's always been horrible to you is now nice to you, and then it kind of makes you think, oh, you know, there's nice sides to everybody. And that, you know, on a very, that's a very kind of trite example, but on that kind of level, you will start to have more faith in people around you. On the 4th, the moon starts to square the Sun, Mercury, and the North Node, all of which are sitting in your 2nd house of finance and physical belongings. And for you, Virgo, I actually see a very good month money-wise. I see you, I see a lot of balance in terms of your bank account. I see you working steadily towards harmonizing your financial situation. I see there's lots of communication in terms of your finances. I don't see massive outgoings. I see a really nice income flow, really nice balance. And I think your money, in fact, is going to fulfill one of your hopes and dreams. I think you'll make more money than you have before. I think you've been striving towards something financially, and I think you'll see success with that on the 4th of October or around the 4th of October. On the 5th of October, there is a T-square between Pluto and the Moon, and the culmination point, the solution to that friction, is Uranus in your 8th. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Virgo, I'm reading this for you, but Pluto and the Moon they're both in a position of we're giving new life to this person's hopes and dreams. And they culminate in Uranus in your 8th. So the increased energy that you've started to notice and that you will continue to notice in your romantic personal relationships, on the 5th, you will see the first kind of sign of that goodness come in. So, you know, if you were going fishing and you put the hook in the water, you would get a little nibble. On the 6th of October, Pluto then starts to trine your midheaven, it starts to trine your Jupiter, and it starts to trine your Mars. So this influence that Pluto is having on your personal life, making it more fun, making it more enjoyable, it even kind of extends to your working life, or your sense of self as someone serious and hardworking. And I think the 6th of October might be a good day to apply yourself even more. I think you're really going to be a powerhouse of efficiency and effectiveness. You're going to make good decisions. You're going to be able to take practical action. You're on fire, literally. You can really make things happen for yourself, and it would be a good idea to make use of that. So don't go anywhere. Work hard, and you'll see some good outcomes to that. On the 7th, the moon starts to trine Uranus. And the moon is in Leo in your 12th house, and I'm getting a vision right now of you being spiritually on fire. And I don't often get those kind of visions, so I need to take heed of that, and it's a spiritual experience. And it's real light in terms of your spirituality. So go to church or go to nature or pray or speak to your guides or something. They used to call this it's like spiritual ecstasy, the rapture. Is it the rapture? I don't know what the rapture means, but something where someone really becomes on fire with the Holy Spirit, if you want to put it in Christian lingo. But it's when you really feel the presence of the higher power and it makes you come alive. And it's not scary, it's something where you feel totally yourself, you feel totally connected. It's a really positive thing. So do a meditation to tap into that and see if it works for you. Venus moves into your sign of Virgo on the 9th of October. Okay, you like this because you like it when the goddess of love looks at things in an orderly, health conscious, routine, structured kind of way. And this is a good time for you because you're going to stop criticizing yourself so much, and you're going to love yourself for the way you are. And you're going to see a lot of positive benefits in your life in October, and you'll pat yourself on the back and say, thank you, dear Virgo, it's because of the way you are that your life is going so well. So have a little party with yourself in October, especially around the 9th, because things are going to go your way. Oh, also your ruler, Mercury, comes out of retrograde on the 9th, so things will get even easier, because when Mercury is in retrograde, you have to look for different ways of talking and communicating and exchanging ideas, and that'll get even easier for you now. On the 10th, Venus sesqui squares, I like saying that, sesqui squares Uranus in your 8th house until the 14th of October. You're going to see yourself in someone else. Like, you know, some people are very familiar. Like some people you'll see around, you say, hey, don't I know you? You look really familiar. And they usually say, I get that all the time. I must have one of those faces. But that also happens because you recognize something in that person that you see in yourself. That's why you have that sense of familiarity, even if you don't know each other. And between the 10th and the 14th, you spot something in someone else that you really like. Because at the moment, you're liking yourself a lot. You're really into yourself, Virgo. Which is good for you because you can be quite critical. And you spot that thing that you like in someone else, and that connects you with them, and that makes you open and available to building a stronger relationship. Because you don't build relationships with people you don't like. You build them with people that you feel drawn to and that you like. So yes, 10th of October to 14th of October is good for that. On the 11th, there's a T-square, an area of friction again and motivation for you. And that's between the Sun and Uranus, and it culminates with Pluto in the 5th. Okay, someone that you know in your personal or working life really affects you because they give you some news and they create more work for you. So schedule in some extra time on the 11th. You're going to have to either sort out someone else's mess, or you're going to be presented with something that creates a lot more work for you, and you're going to need a bit of extra time to deal with it. The new moon happens in Libra on the 13th of October, and that happens in your second house of finance and belongings. So I think so far you've had a really good month in terms of your money anyway. Have a think and put some energy and put some thought into how you can continue that, what has worked, what hasn't worked. I think you can create real harmony if you learn the lessons of the past, your successes and your defeats, and how you can focus on your strengths and minimize the weaknesses. The other thing here is that since August the 16th, Jupiter has been in opposition to your Neptune in your 7th house, okay? And what that's created is it's created a bubble of you as your best version of you. So you've been in touch with yourself as an ideal, as a concept, and you've seen yourself in a light of this could be me. In an ideal world, this is what I could become. And that's really good because it's manifestation. If you see yourself as the king of the world, then you can actually make I don't know if you could achieve that, but you could actually work towards getting there. And you've had a real vision of yourself, and that's why you've had such successes in this month and in last month. But that kind of fades away a little bit now, and you're going to have to continue to do the work that you've been doing, but you're not going to have this inflated vision of yourself as some sort of unique kind of dream figure. And you're very practical, so having a dream about yourself really touches you, so that would have been really nice. That you'll notice that starts to fade a little bit and you start to become more practical again. On the 17th, the moon starts to trine Uranus, and that happens in your 4th house of family. Okay. So you've met new people, you've made new relationships, you've made new connections. One of those starts to, it just it plonks down and becomes something much more solid. It's like having an acquaintance who becomes a friend, having a friend who becomes a partner, having a partner who becomes a wife, whatever. A relationship becomes more structured on the 17th. On the 18th, the moon then moves on and connects with your North Node and your Mercury and your midheaven in the 1st and 2nd houses. And you realize where you've been wanting to go all along. And that might be different for some Virgos than for others. Some of you will realize that you've wanted to make money all along, and some of you will realize that you've wanted relationships and meaningful connections all along. But you get clear on it and the penny drops again. So this is like like a month of things just falling into place, things clicking into place, and you becoming much more certain of yourself. And that's a great thing for a Virgo, because the worst thing for a Virgo is uncertainty. Because a Virgo doesn't like uncertainty. Virgos like to know where they're at, and you get a much greater understanding of who you are and where your life is going. The moon starts to conjunct with Pluto on the 19th and the 20th, and they trine Jupiter. Again, this is really, really good luck for your romantic relationships, and I think you might be even, beating them off with the stick at this time of the month. I think there'll be huge interest in you, and that's great. I was a big fan of Joan Rivers when she was alive. I just thought she had such a nice way of taking these horrendous, horrible things in life that are just awful and making jokes about them and making them not okay, but making you be able to cope with them and deal with them. And she used to say that, she was so surprised that, when she was 50, she's like, okay, that's it, I'll never date again. And then she was so surprised when she got to 60 and to 70 and even to 80 that there were men who were interested in her and who thought she was viable, because she was like, you think you get to a certain age and it's your romance and love and all of that stuff is done with, but there are men and women, it works both ways, who are exactly the same age and they also want to be with someone, you know. So it doesn't stop anywhere. There are always people at every stage of life. So regardless of where you are, if you're a 16-year-old school, you might get a nice card in your locker or whatever. And if you're 80 and if you're out doing something, then you might meet someone as well. So it makes absolutely no difference in terms of where you are. On the 23rd, Neptune starts to trine the Sun, and you become much more intuitive and you become psychic about money things. You start to really have a good sense of what will work and what won't work. So really use that. You'll have a sixth sense in terms of your finances, and that sticks around until the 6th of November. The Moon starts to trine Saturn on the 25th. And again, that's similar. That's a cementing. That's becoming more firm in terms of your relationships. You'll start to have more certainty around who's what and what role they play in your life. And then on the 27th, there's a full moon in Taurus. Now, Virgo, you get on with Taurus and you also get on with Capricorn because those signs share your element of Earth. You feel comfortable in Taurus. You feel comfortable in Capricorn. And a full moon is always a very positive time. It's like a harvest. It's like a blossoming. It's coming to term. It's coming to fruition. And that happens in your 9th house. And it's all alone up there in the top of your chart. Nothing else is going on there. There's nothing in your 10th. There's nothing in your 11th. There's nothing in your 12th. So the moon is just blossoming like a lone little flower up there in your 9th house. And it's saying it's not so much an external blossoming this month for you, it's an internal blossoming. Your certainty has resulted in you understanding much more about yourself, about the world and your life, and those things will then be projected out into your work, out into your hopes and dreams, out into spirituality, and it will start to make sense what you want. I want to be in the same job because I've loved it my whole life and I didn't realize. I want to be in a long-term fixed relationship and I didn't realize that. I always thought I wanted money. I always wanted a yacht, but I don't. I want a relationship. It's that kind of thing. It's like, yes, this is what I want. I understand now. And that's what your full moon in Taurus will do for you, which is beautiful. Grand trine in Earth on the 28th. Again, very, very practical, and it has to do with relationships, a real gift for connecting with people in a practical way. Having, like, the day will go well, the physical connection will go well, the understanding will go well, you'll be on the same wavelength. It's a really good time to spend with someone who's near and dear to you. And then Halloween sees a grand trine, an area of talent, again, in water, on the 31st of October. And what this means is that you'll feel very intuitive about your own life on Halloween. So in terms of, what does he mean by that? You'll feel very intuitive about what your hopes and dreams are. You can communicate those with another person and you can manifest even bigger dreams. So it's a great time for you to manifest. So Virgos, make a little vision board. Usually you put them up on your wall anyway and you just leave them there all the time. But if you make a vision board and you just look at it on Halloween and then you burn it and you put it out in the universe, that will really create something. It's like a magic day for you. You really have insight and access to hopes and dreams and you can make them a reality in one day. So do that. Cut them out. Stick them down. I want this, 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 this. Put your order in. Throw it in the bin or burn it, whatever, just let it go and then just wait for the good to come into your life. So I hope that's been useful to you. It looks like an amazing month for you, Virgo. Really pleased to be able to give you that info. If you'd like a private reading with me, if there's anything for you specifically, either in terms of romance or work or anything like that, money that you want me to look at, based on your chart, which will be even more specific than this, which is for all Virgos, then get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab. You'll see the types of readings that I offer. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. Have a awesome October, and I'll speak to you soon.